Welcome, welcome. Today I'm talking to you about my top three marketing predictions for LinkedIn on 2025. And let me tell you, not all of them are good. Some of them may help you sink or swim. And so I want to draw your attention to what my top three are and how they can help you so that you can make 2025 your best year yet. So I'm in studio, as you can see, I'm in doing a full podcast recording day, and I so happen to be here Friday at 1 p.m. So it makes sense to come live and do this with you today. So, first off, one of the things that I want to share with you is I've been researching this over Christmas. I've been looking at what some of the industry influencers are saying. I've been on Forbes, I've been on Google, I've been on so many other things to research this and figure out what's going to happen in 2025 and how it's going to affect people who show up on LinkedIn or use LinkedIn as one of their number one sales tools, like I do for my business. And so here's something that I think is going to happen. I think, contrary to what Forbes are saying, believe it or not, that more people, particularly small business owners and solopreneurs, are going to use AI to generate and create their content. Now, what I mean by this, Forbes say that actually they believe that that's not the case. What Forbes think is going to happen is that fewer people are going to use AI. But where I think that this is different, or why I have a different view than what Forbes are saying, is because I think some people are late to the party. And I think, especially small business owners, maybe they've been afraid to use it. Maybe they felt it was inauthentic or like cheating or doing something like that. And so I think that now they're going to jump on the bandwagon because they don't want to be left behind. And they're going to start to create and share content with AI. Now, there's a couple of things with this. That can be a good thing, but it can also be a bad thing. So, first off, like when I look through content on LinkedIn, the stuff that's generated with AI screams at me. I can spot it a mile away. And apparently, so can 50% of other people out there. So, if you're using AI to create your content, you need to get smart about how you're using it. And that's the biggest change or shift. And that's what Forbes are saying. And I agree. But I think maybe bigger businesses are going to stop using it. But I think smaller businesses like you and me, we're going to continue to use it. But you need to use it in the right way and know how. And I think some people have been late to the party with the AI thing, and they're playing with it and, toying with the idea of using it, but are not really sure on how to use it as effectively as potentially they could. And so, with new AI language generative models that have come out in 2024, like Copilot has really come to the fore. Some of my clients are telling me they're using Copilot, others are talking about Perplexity. I know there's now Meta AI is out. Apple and Amazon are launching AI products as well in the coming years, if they in the coming year, if they haven't already done so by now. And I think we're going to see more and more of this. So, as I say, there's a couple of dangers with this. First off, is that it really lacks you. And you are the thing that makes people want to work with you. So if you're using AI, you need to get really smart in terms of how you're using it. I have AI prompts that I sell because they're like two A4 pages long, but they're two A4 pages long before you put your information in and you tell that personal story. And the prompts prompt you as much as they prompt AI to be able to combine the best of you as a human, your clients as humans, and AI as the tool that supports you in communicating the message or story. So, really, what my prompts are actually like a story arc framework and an example of what a good output should look like. That's why they're so long. And what it is those prompts create the space for you to insert your personal story. So it is actually about you and about the feelings that you're experiencing, about the pain points that your ideal clients have. And without those things, what ends up happening is the content that AI will create is shite that nobody will want to read. So don't create shite that nobody will want to read with AI. Get really smart with it because empathy, emotion, and connection is one of the other things that's really going to come to the fore. And what Forbes are saying, what I'm seeing on in other places as well where I've researched, is that big brands are really going to try to lean into that much more informal content. And so, as a small business owner, even if you have a company name, I'm always talking about, people say, which should I focus on, Deirdre, my personal brand or my company brand? I'm always like, build your personal brand first. It's so much easier. And now company brands are struggling with this because what they're trying to do is bring influencers in, bring creatives in, so that they can try and portray that human side in their messaging and in their content and in every way, not just on LinkedIn for 2025. But as a personal brand, it is about being more informal. And again, the thing that comes up when I talk to people about this is that, but is informal not professional, Deirdre? Absolutely, you can be informal, but still professional. You can tell personal stories and relate them back to your business by sharing how that has led you to be where you are today. You can talk about the impact that had on you and why you do what you do. You can talk about the lesson that you learned that now you want to make sure your clients don't have to go through that same thing. Whatever it is, you take that personal story. It can be your personal stories or it can be your ideal client story, and you can share that in a professional way on LinkedIn. And you can even say, fuck on LinkedIn. Look, I just said it, right? You can say things like that. So show up as you, be informal. And what's really interesting about this is that the more what am I trying to say? The more videos that people are sharing on LinkedIn, you'll see now it's much more like Instagram Reels or TikTok style videos on LinkedIn. That's the stuff that's getting a lot of impressions. LinkedIn's algorithm is favoring that. And I think they're going to continue to do that because they've updated the app, and the app is probably going to be updated even more. So you can do that sort of stuff in platform. And that's where I think it's going to go. So I definitely think more of that informal stuff where you're showing up, you're sharing a little bit about you, you're offering your personal insights and opinions. And yes, if you want to leverage ChatGPT or another AI language generative model to help you do that, that's fine, but it needs to be your opinion that gets input into it before you take an output, right? So the danger again of using AI so much is that it can cause you to lose your authentic voice. And I've seen this with clients. I've had to tell them to stop using AI. Stop using AI, because you have to figure out how you sound and who the fuck you are and how you speak and engage with your clients before you go to AI. Because otherwise, AI is going to put stuff out that it scrapes off the internet as opposed to creating anything that actually sounds like you. That stuff is shit. It has to sound like you. If it doesn't sound like you, it's boring shit that nobody wants to read. So there's two. More people are going to use AI on LinkedIn, and they can use it for good or use it for bad. But the secret is knowing how to use it for good. Okay. The second one is more informal content. I've been talking about this in 2024, and I think this is one of the reasons why my business has grown and several of my clients' business has grown. It's because we're bringing in that informal aspect. So I think lean into that for 2025. And the final one is private communities. Now, this is something that's not talked about hugely on LinkedIn, and I think it's really underutilized on the platform. But I think there's incredible capacity and opportunity for people to create their own private community spaces on LinkedIn, very similar to Facebook groups. So small pop-up groups that you can have that you can build your community on. And again, Forbes are talking about this as well. What they're saying is that people are craving connection. We want that connection. We want to be able to have a private community where we can go in and network or engage with other people just like us. And so for me, one of the things I've done for my LinkedIn revenue accelerators, I've created a community on LinkedIn just for that. And it's so people can come in there, they're all in the same boat. We have a monthly Q&A call, and then they can message each other within that private community space on LinkedIn and engage on there with other people who are on the same journey as them and trying to do things and grow their businesses on LinkedIn. So they're basically peers supporting each other. That's what I'm trying to say. And there's nothing more credible than somebody else who's on the same journey, struggling as you, who's achieved a success. And so I think those communities like haven't been used in that way on LinkedIn. So I definitely think there's opportunity for you to create the equivalent of a Facebook group on LinkedIn and leverage that. I think that could be really powerful for people in 2025. And I think companies are more so going to do that, and where they don't bring them off of LinkedIn onto their own platforms. Like HubSpot have communities, Kajabi has communities as well. But depending on what you do, you could, like, if you have a community on Kajabi, but maybe you use Facebook groups, if you're a coach or consultant and you do launches or you do events or webinars where you task people with homework or you get them to engage, I think do that on LinkedIn for 2025 and it could be really powerful for you. So those are three of my top predictions for 2025 for LinkedIn. But I am going to be sharing a bonus episode of my Master Your Business podcast in the next few days, literally recording it today. And in there, I'm going to share my top 7 predictions for marketing overall. So I'm going to zoom out from LinkedIn and look at the rest of the things that I think are really going to help you make 2025 your best year yet, in terms of, again, as I said at the start, I've researched Forbes, I've researched Google, I can't Kantar, there's others I've researched, I can't even think of the names of them now. But the idea being that all of these things on LinkedIn and beyond, knowing what they are, how to lean into them, how to get ahead of them, how to be the first there. And first isn't always the most important. Being the most different and doing it is very often the most important. And creating that category of one space for you. Oh, darn. Maybe I just gave away a hint as to what one of the others might be. But if you're not subscribed to the Master Your Business podcast, please do so. You can find it in any of your favorite streaming platforms, or else head over to my website, www.deirdremartin.ie. A pop-up will appear after a couple of seconds when you've been on the website. You can sign up and subscribe to my email list, and from there you'll be notified about every new episode every Tuesday. And if you're not subscribed, you won't hear about that bonus episode. So be sure to hop over there and register now. So if you have any insights into what you think is going to trend on LinkedIn for marketing perspective in 2025, I would love to hear what they are. Please pop them into the comments and let's start a conversation around it. Anything that you like that I've said around the AI thing, what do you think? What are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on the video? Tell me. And communities, do you have a community? I'd love to know. So there you go. I'll stop rambling on for today. Again, a very happy new year to you. I look forward to sharing loads more insights about LinkedIn and other things on here every Friday at 1 p.m. for 2025. It's a habit now. I'm not going to break it.